Good evening, Sword family. My most humble apologies for being a half hour late today, but there is a good reason. My young cousin had a cheer competition in town today, and when she's actually in town, I want to try to be around to support her. And I found out yesterday that it was at 4 o'clock today. So I didn't think I would be back in time to start at 5:30. So instead of rolling in here, as I obviously did, a half hour late, I figured I would just start the show a half hour later, and we basically made it back just in time. So it's probably a good thing that I did. Now, not only was my younger cousin at this competition, but another cousin is on the high school cheer team. So she was also at the competition. And I don't know if people honestly realize, but I am basically in my mid-40s. And my younger cousin has a daughter that is in high school. And as if that didn't make me feel old enough, but then they decide as part of their little routine to play the AC/DC song Thunderstruck. Ow. That was just painful. Now, don't get me wrong. Not complaining. It was the best song they played all night long. But at the same time, do you really have to go for my knees like that? Come on now. Anyway, one more slight deviation before we actually get into things tonight. Earlier this week, I did not know what I was going to be doing this show about tonight. And then Wednesday morning, our very, very good friend Nick had his show. And him and Trey were giving me ideas on things I could talk about. And the day before, I was expecting a package. And I only knew of one other thing that was supposed to be coming. So I made the assumption that it would be my Gǔqín. And then it wasn't. But what did come in is this. This is a book that our friend Dawn found for me. And it is Fighting Techniques of the Oriental World, AD 1200 to 1860. I spent most of Tuesday night looking through this. This is an awesome book. it has some drawings. That is a Yuan Dynasty infantryman. And it has battle maps. This is insanely cool. And we have Japanese infantrymen with a naginata. There is a Japanese battle map. It's not just Chinese. So you're going to have Chinese, you're going to have Japanese, Mongolian, Arabic. So this was cool, but I was disappointed that it was not my Gǔqín. But then Wednesday morning show comes along, and I kind of decided, you know what, screw it. I was going to do it on the Gǔqín anyway, and hopefully it would, come it would come in and I could open it live for my audience. And it didn't come in, but I decided to do it on the Gǔqín anyway. But the other thing, that I was expecting was something that I bought back in early February. And it was pre-order. And I was told when I bought it that by pre-ordering it, I would get a guaranteed release day delivery. And that release day was yesterday. And yesterday in the mail, I got this. The new Bloodywood CD. I haven't listened to it yet because I just got it yesterday. I haven't really had time to sit down and listen to it. But I have heard 3 out of the 8 songs. And they are amazing. So I'm really looking forward to listening to the rest of this when I get a minute. But you can tell just from the songs that they have released that they're having more fun with this CD. The first CD was fairly serious. It talked about bullying. It talked about losing a loved one. And it talked about suicide. It was a lot of very, very serious, heavy topics in the first CD. This one, they're having fun. The very first song that they released is the title track, New Delhi. Now, they spelled it N-U like new metal. And it's literally just a song about how awesome New Delhi, India is. It's a hometown song. This is how awesome our home is. Come and visit and, enjoy yourself. So this I'm looking forward to. Now, earlier this afternoon, actually, no, let me back up. A couple of days ago, I bought my Gǔqín on February 25th, and I have heard nothing since then. No tracking notice, no message from the seller, nothing. A couple of days ago, I finally get an email with a tracking number. And according to the tracking number, my delivery is expected between the 2nd and 5th of April. So I'm thinking I still have some time to wait. Maybe the stream on April 5th, I'll be able to do an unboxing. Earlier this afternoon, I hear a knock at my front door. Now, the last couple of days, we've had some fairly annoying visitors come and knock at the door. And I do not answer. I don't answer for the Mormon missionaries. I don't answer for Jehovah's Witnesses. So I was not very pleased to hear someone knocking on the door yet again this afternoon. So I didn't answer it. Follow up and answers the door. She comes in, says that it's a good thing that she answered the door because there was a fairly large box waiting for a signature. What do you think arrived today? It's right here. This back up a little bit so you can see just how big this box is. This is my Gǔqín. It just happened to show up the afternoon before my stream. It's right here. So we're going to do an unboxing while discussing the differences between the Gǔqín and the guitar. I also wore my guitar shirt because I just, it's just cool. And thanks to Nick, this is going to be my G guitar. So, first thing we're going to do is get the stupid little box here. Or not the box, the bag with all of the paperwork out. Official paperwork. What is this? Oh my goodness. This is a literal page of stamps. And another one. Let's see if I can get these both open here. This is how much postage it took to get here. Put those over there, right next to my tea set that I'm still going to do my tea ceremony. I just need to get me some loose leaf tea first. Now, the first difference that you're going to find between the Gǔqín and a guitar is the number of strings. A standard guitar usually has 6. A Gǔqín has 7. So that's number one. You have an extra string. They always package these things so strongly. It's a pain, but I appreciate it because there's one little, see if I can get it up here so you can see, there's one tiny little hole in the box. See it? Right down there? The rest of the box is in excellent shape. So I'm hoping everything is in good shape. Check out my comments here. First through the door is Dan. 5:45. Good evening. Good evening, Dan. And there's good evening from Trey. Hello. Made it back in time, barely, but we're here, yeah. And there's evening from Kitty. And greetings from Trey. Chen says that Demon Fallen has arrived in Georgia. Lindsay's red car is actually orange from the pollen. And my white truck is turning yellow. Need to schedule a day to spend at the car wash. Yeah, I've noticed my seasonal allergies have been, yeah. And Trey greeting Dan. Totally worth being late to support your family. Yes. She does a lot of these competitions, and most of them are not in town. So I'm not always able to be there. So that when I can be there, I try to be there. When she does stuff that, like, I would have to drive 3 or 4 hours for, I kind of can't do that. So instead, I try and be there for her when she's local. So, yeah. Very cool find, yeah. And I was not expecting it. She told me when she first found it that she was going to send it to me, and I completely forgot about it. So I was, yeah, it's an awesome book. Bloody Wood, yep. Don't forget to like and share, yeah. Good thing for me, she couldn't sleep, yeah. Like number 11. Wow, nice. And a squee from Kitty. And Joe from Indie CD. Don't mind me just sliding in late. Yeah, we're all kind of late. Number 1. Oh, okay. No worries. We started late. Yes, we did. Not about the size of the box. It's how you use it. Well, you're not wrong. Holy crepes. It's a big box. Huge, but very light. It is incredibly light. I mean, there's hardly anything to it. Yes, we're still having freaking internet issues. Oh, yeah. I fully intend on keeping the stamps and stuff. What kind of tea do you like or would you use for a tea ceremony? So, I have found that I prefer the more fruity teas, while Foxy likes the more herbal and floral teas. So most of the tea that I bought that I've tried on this stream have been like fruits, you know, wild berry, black cherry, peach. I didn't like the peach, but I still had the peach. So it's usually fruit. Jesse's having a sale. Oh, well, I have $1 to my name right now. So yeah. All right, so the bane of my existence. I'm going to be cleaning this crap up for the next, I don't know how long. There's another one. Oh, there it is. I can feel it. So, yeah. Guitar has 6 strings. Gǔqín has 7. They're also tuned differently. Now, you can tune a stringed instrument basically however you want. But most guitars start out in a standard E tuning. Now, that means, let's see if I can find a better picture because that one's kind of garbage. A standard E tuning is the guitar is tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E. So there's a nice little mnemonic that I learned when I first rebought my new guitar to remember standard E tuning. And it says, Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. So that's how I remember standard E tuning. Now, if you're paying attention, you notice the E is the bottom string and the top string. So you have a low E and a high E. And that usually is depicted with the low E as a capital E and the high E as a lowercase e. So let me share the screen here. You can see this is a basic guitar tab. And you can see E, A, D, G, B, E. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. That's a standard E tuning. Now there are multiple other ways you can tune a guitar. But this is standard tuning. A Gǔqín standard tuning is A, G, E, D, C, A, G. So it is a completely different tune for this instrument. Oh, beautiful. So let me, yeah, there's the co-star. Big evergreen tree in the backyard. He likes watching the birds and the dogs and the cats and the people. So the first thing is booklet. Now, booklet is in Chinese but it does have some small tabs right here. Six, 5, 3, 2, 1, 6, 5. We got some songs here. Similar to the guitar tab I just showed. These numbers are telling you there's fret markers. I don't know if you can see it. Right on the outside of the Gǔqín, these little white dots. Those are fret markers. Now, if I can do this without dropping anything. Right here are also fret markers. These are under the strings. On the Gǔqín, they're basically on the outside of the strings. With the guitar tab, just bring this back up again. So what does all this crap mean? This is an open fret on the D string. So that means to play this note, you're going to go to your D string and just strum. You're not touching the frets. It's open. Then you're going to open string again, and while the note still rings out, you hammer on the second fret. So it's a, I don't know if you can hear that. Let me get a little bit closer. So that's how guitar tabs work. Now, I cannot read regular music, but I can read guitar tabs. So anytime you see a number on a string line, that's telling you to strum that string while pressing down that fret. Gǔqín tabs basically work the same way. The difference is you don't have anything separating the strings like you do with a guitar. You know, here your frets are separated by these little pieces of metal. It's a separation. Gǔqín, as you can probably tell from here, there's nothing separating the frets. It's one solid piece. And you also, with a Gǔqín, play a lot by strumming. You basically play this with two hands, much like you do a guitar. You're going to strum with one hand, and the other hand is going to be used to either tap or slide across the string. Oh, we have a question. Okay. May have missed it while trying to fix cat toy, but what wood is the instrument usually made of? It depends. It depends a lot on what what is available and what not sure, he might know. Yeah, see, it's kind of like the way that guitars are made of lots of different materials. As far as I know, there's not a standard wood that is always the one that's, you know, used to make them. As far as I'm aware, you're going to find fir or not sure this is how you pronounce the word because I've only seen it written, but paulownia wood, which incidentally is the same wood as this and the fretboard. This is paulownia wood. The fretboard and the inlay right here. So it might be the same kind of wood as I have right here. Now let me share a different screen, show you a Gǔqín tab. This is a Gǔqín tab. A-G-E-D-C-A-G. Fret, 7th fret, 7th fret, 4th fret, and so your first 5 notes are all going to be played with one hand. Then when you get here, you're going to strum the 4 and you're going to tap while you strum. Same thing here. This little mark right here is a slide. So you're going to strum the 7, slide down to the 6, and tap the 2. It's quite a bit different playing style. There is my tuner. I should have had one of these when I first got my guitar. But now I have a little tuner, which is nice because I'm probably going to have to tune this myself. This is it's basically kind of like a sword tassel. It's basically for decoration. Kind of looks like a bird nest. My little tuning nut thing and a cleaning cloth. Those are always good to have. And then we have a little carrying bag. I kind of want to get something a little safer, because this ain't going to protect anything. It's just kind of It's kind of like a soft guitar case. It's the same idea. We have a little knot right here. Open that up. And we have the instrument itself. This is beautiful. Underneath, at your tuning pegs, looks like we have metal strings. They might be nylon, I'm not sure. And they're wrapped all the way down and underneath. Oh. Yeah, yeah. I might have to tighten some of the strings because the lowest string is kind of loose, but whew, yeah. Don't think there's anything else left in the box. Let's see how well our tuner works. The dog is very, very interested. He's sniffing every single thing. Very, very small. Small tuner. I might need to get a battery for the tuner. We will see. But it sounds completely different from my guitar. I don't know if the microphone is even picking this up, but might pick up my lowest string here. See if we get closer to the microphone, because you hear that? That is your highest string. That is the middle string. I have wanted one of these for as long as I can remember. And now I have one. And it's going to take a little bit of getting used to because it is quite a bit different from the guitar. But I already have finger picks because I have found that I prefer playing with my fingers as opposed to playing with regular picks. This is just amazing. I know. Dead air, but yes. Very, very happy thesis. I'm going to have to try, playing a little bit. And then maybe try recording something with my microphone because there's nothing that you can plug this into to try and amplify this. It's just not possible. So if I'm going to record anything with this thing, it's going to have to be done playing it on my lap with the microphone to record. I know what he'll be doing for a while. You're not wrong. Ooh. Okay, starting to get the hang of this. Ah. So, finger pick. Close to the bridge, which is right here. Strum a note. Press your fret. If you want to get that slidey sound, you know what? Let's come down here because this is easier to hear, I think. It's very similar to a whammy bar on a guitar. You play a note on a guitar and you press that whammy bar and you get that distinctive kind of wiggly sound in the note. You can get the exact same thing here just by moving your finger back and forth between the frets. Now again, I do not know how much the microphone is picking up on this, but press the fret. Yeah. I'm going to be having fun with this for the rest of the night. And I'm glad that... Oh, good. Nice. Actually picking up most of it. I'm glad. I was worried that this one, my lowest string, you wouldn't even be able to hear that. Here's something I do want to show you, though. This is something that I have discovered all on my own, which obviously sounds like a no-duh kind of statement, but I'm going to grab something here. That sounds good to Foxy too. Okay. Not 2024 Christmas, but 2023 Christmas. Foxy bought me wooden picks. I love these things. But I prefer my finger picks. One thing that I have is you get better, louder, clearer sound with a pick than you get with your finger. So I'm going to show you what I mean. No pick, just my finger. That's just my hand. Now, wooden pick. Now, can you tell a difference? Just my finger. Wooden pick. Now, finger pick. No pick. Finger pick. I can tell a distinct difference between just my finger and a pick. It really should. Dad, the box is in my spot. Yeah, I'll move it in a minute, bud. Picks put a sharper edge to the notes. Yes. I knew Dan would know what I was talking about. Now, when I bought these, there's not just one in here. There's several. They go on the tips of your fingers. So when you're playing, you can play multiple notes. Without having to move your hand. So I can hit the high, middle, and low notes very quickly without having to move my hand. And of course, it's a light. They're red and black because it's me. I'm pretty sure that this is Paulownia wood. It is a very pretty kind of reddish brown. They also had the option of one that was lacquered in black. But to me, this is just what a Gǔqín looks like. The black, I don't know, it just looked strange. It looked, honestly, to me, it looked wrong. Wonder what the different sounds would be between picks and your fingernails? We can find out if you want. But let me see if I can find a black one just to show you what I'm talking about. It just doesn't look right. See if this one will behave for me. Come on. Well, that's garbage. Nope, that one's not going to be nice. This one will be nice, though. Okay, and we share screens again. That is black. And to me, it just doesn't look right. I can't quite tell you why. I can't give you a reason. Can't put my finger on it. But it just looks wrong compared to this. That just, I don't know, just looks right. It looks like a Gǔqín. Now, we have 5 minutes left. So, with our last 5, we're going to do a little review from, oh geez, however long ago it was that I did my own video. I do not remember how long ago that was. But who remembers fingernails sound a lot like picks, but on metal strings, it's tough on your nails. And I'm curious. I will not do it on this because the strings for this are insanely expensive. But I kind of want to do an experiment on the different sounds between fingers, wood, plastic, and metal picks. I'm very, very curious. Can't see any wood grain on the black. It looks like part of a grand piano. You're not wrong. Oh, that didn't last very long. So who remembers tones from however long ago that stream was? I don't remember. I'm going to look at the word Gǔqín. So share screen. Gǔqín. The U is a third tone. It starts high, drops to mid, pops back up. So it sounds like gu. You hear that dip. Ooh. The I is a second tone. It is a rising tone. So it sounds like chin, chin, almost like you're asking a question. So the word is pronounced gu, chin, gu, chin. However, I make allowances for people who don't speak the language. I just think it's interesting when you have the ability to teach these things, to show people the right way. Show people the right way to say it. However, if you want to refer to this lovely, lovely instrument as a G guitar, feel free. Call it a Chinese zither or a Chinese harp. Also acceptable. But I am very, very pleased with my purchase. I really never expected it to show up today. And I will probably spend at least a good portion of the evening, when I'm not eating dinner, just plucking away and learning how to play. And probably at least in some instances coming up with a name for her, because I name my stuff. Yes, I'm one of those people. My guitar's name is Acacia. All of my swords are named. This thing's going to have a name. It just might take me a little while, a little bit of playing, a little bit of getting to know her. before I figure out what her name is. Now we have made it to the hour. I need to go eat. It is a half hour later than I usually eat dinner, so I definitely need to go eat something. Next week, hopefully, I will have tea time with my special guest. My guest that is outside of the Indie CD family. Looking forward to that. They got a hold of me earlier this week. We made tentative plans for the 29th. I'm hoping over the week we can finalize those tentative plans. I still need to get Nick on to do a makeup for last month. So that will be hopefully sometime in April. Also in April, I will do a second tea time. Where the questions will be for me. Even though I've kind of answered most of those questions over the course of various other interviews, I want people to see that I'm not always putting other people in the hot seat. I can put myself on there too. So that will also happen in April. I just don't know when yet. Thank you all for listening to me prattle on about this wonderful, wonderful instrument. And I will see you all next week. 再见。